Hello, fantasy baseball fanatics. How you doing? Welcome to the Fantasy MD's Baseball Podcast. Today is Sunday, June 19th, 2022. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. And a special happy Father's Day, first Father's Day to my brother here, Matt. Matt, happy Father's Day to you,
Thank
Maggie
you.
and Morgan.
Thank you.
And today is our 31st episode. We're getting down the line, Matt. We're getting close, almost at 50. And as you guys know, I'm your co-host, Dominic Martino, here with my brother, partner in crime, Matthew Arnay. Matt, how we doing today?
Doing good, man. I did absolutely nothing. Woke up hungover as hell.
There you go.
Still feeling it.
Quality Father's Day, then, I'd say.
Yeah, and wife fed me steak.
There we go. There we go.
I had a couple beers. It was a good day.
Who's got it better than you, my brother?
Not many. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I got the White Sox and the Astros on in the background. I'm watching two of my boys. I'm watching Christian Javier against Michael Kopech. Great game. And I say let's get into it. We got an action-packed episode today. A lot of fun stuff. So guys, stick around till the end, man. I'm telling you, this might be one of our better shows in a while. So we're gonna start with the finger on the pulse, and man, we're getting close to that All-Star game. And so I told Matt, I said, hey, let's tell the people who our All-Star picks are. Let's just throw that out there. That's what I figured we'd start with. So, Matt, let's do it this way. I think it's the best way to do it. I'll go through my American League players, and then you do yours, and then we'll have a little healthy debate, a little back and forth about it, and then we'll do the NL. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right. So, my American League All-Star picks, as of today, June 19th, I got Ty France at first base, Seattle Mariners. I got Jose Altuve at second, Houston Astros. I got Jose Ramirez at third base, Cleveland Guardians. I got Xander Bogaerts at shortstop, Boston Red Sox. I got front runner for MVP, Mr. Aaron Judge in the outfield, New York Yankees. I got one of my favorite players, Rookie of the Year candidate, Mr. Julio Rodriguez in the outfield as well, Seattle Mariners. Then, this guy just kind of back at the top of the podium of baseball players, right? Maybe right behind Aaron Judge. It's Mike Trout of the Angels. Then we got a newcomer here, Alejandro Kirk at catcher for me, Toronto Blue Jays. And then at DH, we got Yordan Alvarez of the Houston Astros.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's a nice little lineup. I agree on a lot of them. And by no means am I a Boston Red Sox fan. But it seems with this pick of my lineup, it might be. So start off at first base with Anthony Rizzo, second base Trevor Story, Rafael Devers at third, Xander Bogaerts at short. Then Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton,
Aaron Judge,
Kyle Tucker, Alejandro Kirk, and Yordan at DH. But so here's my caveat: it should be Michael Trout, but this website doesn't let me select it. I'm sorry, but I don't agree that DH is an actual position because it's pretty much a real life flex spot. Hey, I don't want my pitcher to pitch, so I'm going to put my best hitter in that spot and give him a rest day on the field. That's all that is. There's no DH position. I'm sorry. So
well, I hear you on that, my brother. I agree that I don't think DH is an actual position, but they got it in both leagues now. So we got to adapt a little bit over here. So
no defensive skill position is what it should be. ND instead of DH. No defense.
I hear you. I get what you're saying. You make a fair point.
He's like Steph Curry. That's what that is. It's Steph Curry.
Hey, man. Well, Steph Curry just got himself another champion. Shout out to the Golden State Warriors, by the way. I know this is a baseball podcast, but, shout out to them, man. That's a legacy over there. But so to get into our little debate, let's start with Mike Trout then. So you couldn't find room for Trout in the outfield, Matt? The guy's just being a monster right now. I'd probably have him in there over Stanton and Tucker at the moment. Judge is probably the only outfielder in the whole league I'd probably take over Trout. But I hear what you're saying. Stanton's doing his little thing. He's been cold recently, but I could see that. And then Tucker, I think Tucker probably makes the All-Star team this year. He's hot, and I think he had not a home run, but he hit a shot double off of Kopech in the first inning here. So that average is going up and up and up and up as far as I'm concerned. So, Matt, who do you want to call me out on? You want to call me out on somebody, or am I just going to call you out over here?
Let me see real quick.
I'll tell you this. I do like your Rizzo pick, though, over Ty France. I do like that one. Rizzo's been absolute on fire lately. He's got, I believe, 19 home runs. He's doing his thing for the Yankees, got a bunch of RBIs. He's been clutch. I'll tell you this, watching as a Yankee fan, watch a lot of Yankee games. He gets hits in a very clutch, timely manner, so I do like your Anthony Rizzo pick there.
Thank you. Hold on, before I call you out on fact checking myself, before I go ahead and do this.
Hey, feel free, my brother. Feel free.
Damn, I did not realize Julio was doing that good, so I can't even say that.
No, Julio's been really good. He's leading the league in steals, I believe, with 19.
Yeah, he's actually probably going to be the rookie of the year. So, to be honest,
Knock on wood, man. Don't jinx it.
to be honest, I mean, the only one I can't say I hate your lineup. I have nobody to call you out on.
Fair enough. I appreciate that. I'll tell you this. I will throw out the caveat that I've been really in tune. I've been locking in the last few weeks here in baseball, man. I've really been, I'll tell you this. I had a bad week. I don't know if was it last week or 2 weeks ago. I just throw this out there, guys. I got into a little fender bender, and it kind of threw me off there for a week. I had to deal with a rental and all that stuff that was no fun. So, but I feel like I've been locking in again. I feel like I'm very in tune with the game. So, Matt, I do appreciate that. So, you want to go over to the NL side then? Read yours off first.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Hang tight. I'm gonna get my list for the umpteenth time here.
Yeah, no problem, my brother.
Here we go. All right. So I got Goldie at first, Jazz at second, Nolan Arenado at third, Tommy Edmonds at short, Mookie Betts, Jock, and Acuna at outfield, Wilson Contreras, and Bryce Harper at DH.
Well, I will throw this out there, my brother. We are almost exactly spot on here in the NL. So I'll read mine off real quick. At first base, I got Mr. Paul Goldschmidt, like you do. Second base, also Jazz Chisholm. At third base, this is where we're a little bit off, but I love your Nolan Arenado pick, but I had to give it to Manny Machado, man. And, he's just been having a year for the Padres, keeping them afloat while Tatis is down. So I gave him the nod at third. Shortstop, I got Trey Turner. I mean, he's not having that number one overall pick season that everyone expected, but he's doing pretty good. So I gave him the nod over there. We have the exact same outfield. So once again, that's Acuna, Betts, and Jock Peterson. And then we have the same catcher in DH as well. That's Wilson Contreras and Bryce Harper. So Matt, no love for Manny. I mean, like I said, I like the Nolan pick. He's been on fire, but no love for Manny, one of your former boys.
Nah. To be completely honest, he's killing it right now. It's just personally, I think that's a
preference pick, though. I just had to find something to call you out on.
I mean, yeah, it's 1A, 1B.
Yeah,
it's really all it is. I mean, Nolan Arenado has bounced back from his terrible last year.
Oh yeah, big time.
Right. So, I mean, it is what it is. It's nice that we're probably going to see Jazz. I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, and Jock. I'm happy to see that Jock probably makes the All-Star game this year, too. You know what? I believe when he was first getting hot, we told everyone to add him when he was still like 20% owned. And, if you did, you're reaping the rewards now, like my brother Matt. And, man, it's just really – I think he's finally figured something out where that batting average isn't going to be 250 anymore. Maybe he keeps it around 260, 270. And if he does – woo! Look out, man. Jock's got a lot of upside. So
that's so wild though. He was supposed to go play in China or Korea.
Right? And then he gets that call at the last minute from the Giants.
God. Let's go, Jock. I've been rooting for your whole career.
Yeah, so Matt, unless there's anything else you want to touch on here with the All-Stars, we'll keep it pushing. We'll head into the news.
Yes, sir. Let's chill. Let's do it.
All right. Well, as you always know, my brother, just cut me off at any moment if you need to talk. All right. All right, so we're going to start off here with Bryce Harper. He's day-to-day with that blister, but apparently it's not a big deal. He should be back sooner than later. Then we got Chris Bryant. He's finally looked like he's going to get on that rehab assignment Tuesday with that back injury. I mean, hopefully we can get something out of Chris Bryant this season, with that big signing with Colorado, and he's really just been hurt all year. So hopefully he can get back healthy. Then we got Andrew Heaney, who actually came back today and pitched a great game. Who did he pitch against? Let me pull that up. I forgot who he pitched against, but he did pitch today. He had pitched 5 innings, 7 strikeouts. I watched most of the game. He gave up 1 run. He had a 120 whip. It was against the Cleveland Guardians, so not one of the best teams in the league, and they were out. They were without Jose Ramirez. So I mean, that's expected. Hopefully Andrew Heaney can keep it going. Then we got Mookie Betts. This is a big one, man. He's headed to the IL with a cracked rib, and there's no timetable for his return, so he's going to be out for the foreseeable future. That stinks there for all the Mookie Betts owners out there. But hey, stay tuned for the waiver wire segment coming up, and we'll get you a couple of guys you can throw in your lineup to possibly replace them. Katel Marte has missed the last 2 games with a hamstring injury. He is day-to-day for now. Mike Clevenger was activated from the COVID IL. He came in for 2 innings of relief on Saturday after Mackenzie Gore got shelled. I think Gore lasted like an inning or two, so they had to bring in somebody that was going to try and give them a little length. I believe that's why Clevenger went out of the bullpen. I'm pretty sure he's still going to be a starting pitcher for them as the foreseeable future goes. Just keep an eye on that going forward. Matt, some good news here for you. I don't know if you saw this, but Brandon Woodruff struck out 7 of the 8 batters he faced yesterday in his rehab start. I think they said they're going to give him one more down there just to be sure, and then he should be back up in the big league rotation.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah, right. That's a big one for Woodruff. We'd love to see that after he had the little scare with the Reynolds, but he looks like he's gonna bounce back pretty strong. Then we got Jorge Polanco to the IL with back tightness. Joe Musgrove to the COVID IL. Brandon Lowe was shut down after feeling renewed discomfort in his back, so there's really no timetable on him, which kind of stinks because it's kind of been a lost season for him so far as well. Get better soon, Brandon. We hope things work out for you, buddy. As I was just saying, Jose Ramirez is day-to-day with a jammed thumb. Not too serious, though. He should be back sooner than later. This was a big one, just happened today. Manny Machado sprained his ankle. The x-rays came back clean. Not sure how long he's going to be out for, the severity of the ankle sprain. Just keep an eye on that. Updates should be coming out at some point today when you guys are listening to this on Monday. Just keep an eye out on Manny Machado's ankle. I don't know how that's going to work out. It looked kind of bad. Tyler O'Neill is day-to-day with hamstring tightness. Yordan Alvarez is day-to-day with a hand injury. And we got Tim Anderson returning tomorrow from the IL with that groin injury. And I believe he was doing pretty good down there in the minors as well. So make sure he is active in all of your lineups. So that's the news and notes for us today. We're going to head into this waiver wire segment. And Matt, this is one of our better ones in a few weeks. We got a couple of really good names here, a couple of prospects that just called up, a couple of good starting pitchers, a couple of good closers. So Matt, you know what, my brother? Is there anyone in particular, any position that you would like to talk about?
To be honest, I think I want to talk about an arm.
So let's go arms first today. Let's switch it up. Let's go arms first, brother.
So it's pretty big. He's nice. He's coming off the IL, and that's Anthony DeFlascani.
DeSclafani.
I'm going to mess up his name, and I'm going to say it the same way every time. So he's about 43% owned. All the savvy owners already scooped him up. He did have a really good 2021 last year, which, he finally did it. He did show life like a couple of years ago, but then kind of was just been down at the bottom of the mud for last 3 seasons, but finally figured it out last year. And I'm hoping that he can come back off his injury and kind of pick up where he left off. He does pitch in San Francisco, which is a great pitching park. So there's a lot of upside for Anthony DeFlascani. I really think he'll be a home run for anybody that adds him. Yes, DeFlascani. All right, let's go on.
Matt, I love it, my brother. You always keep me in a good mood here on the podcast. So with DeSclafani, man, he actually, as Matt said, had a great year in his first year with San Francisco last year, and San Francisco is known to be pretty good with starting pitchers. So I think they may have found something there, maybe a little adjustment, something like that, and it just wound up working for him last year. Last year, DeSclafani had a 3.17 ERA in 31 starts, 13 wins, 7 losses, 167 innings, 152 strikeouts with a 109 whip, right? So strikeouts might be a little bit low, but I love that ERA. I love that whip. As Matt said, once again, he pitches in San Francisco now, so it's a great ballpark to pitch in. I totally think he's worth the ad right now, and he is pitching on, when did they say? Some point next week. It looks like they line up against Atlanta for 4 games next week, but then they have Cincinnati. Maybe he gets on one of those Cincinnati games, and that would be awesome. If he does get the Braves, I don't know if I'm throwing him out there in that first one. I definitely would still pick him up to stash, and even if he gets hit against the Braves, it's his first game back, so he gets a little leeway there. But you could totally do worse than Anthony DeSclafani right now, man. He's as we said, he's been a good pitcher for a while, had a couple up and down years, but I think he's somebody you might be able to rely on going down the stretch this year. Let me see if I could pick one out here of our starting pitchers that we were talking about. I'm going to go with somebody who actually went off yesterday. I didn't get to watch the game, but Taiwan Walker, man. Woo! We recommended him a couple weeks ago, and once again, if you went out there and you picked him up, you're reaping the rewards right now, man. His last 2 starts have been absolutely electric.
Month.
Yeah, right. Even the last month in general, but the last two, the strikeouts are up, man. The last two, on June 12th against the Angels, he went 6 innings, got the win, 10 strikeouts, 1.50 ERA, and a 1.17 WHIP. And then on the 18th, Taiwan Walker went 6.2 innings against Miami, got the win, 9 strikeouts, a 1.35 ERA, and a 0.45 WHIP. Man, so he's really turning a corner here right now. And guess what? Guess who he gets this upcoming week? The Miami Marlins again on June 24th. So he's 50% owned on Yahoo. Go out there and pick him up. I'll just read you off his numbers on the year. Once again, Taiwan Walker of the New York Mets. He's pitched 59.1 innings. He's got 5 wins. He's got 44 strikeouts. He's got a 2.88 ERA and a 1.16 WHIP. And on that New York Mets teams, man, he's going to keep winning games. I think he's able to suppress runs. He's got good control right now. Go out there and add Taiwan Walker, man.
Oh yeah, he's definitely killing it. He's doing a lot better than I thought. In my opinion, I think that this is a trend. I don't think he's going to keep this ridiculous below sub-3, but he's probably somebody that's going to be serviceable down the stretch for quite some time for you. I think that he's definitely worth an add at 50% owned. But I want to move on to my next guy here. Somebody who you're going to probably look at as cross-eyed unless you've seen his last start, and that's Keegan Thompson. So I really like Keegan. I think he's just had a lot of bad luck and a lot of just young mistakes. Let's chalk it up to that because he has moments of brilliance in his last outing against Atlanta of all teams. He gave up no runs, 9 Ks, and had a 0.67 WHIP. I mean, you're killing it, bro. Good for you. But the thing is, though, why I say you're gonna leave me cross-eyed is week before that against the Spankies because he spanked them up. Gave him a 40 ERA, gave up like 18.
Everyone's getting rocked against the Yankees right now. And we're not just saying that as Yankee fans. The Yankees are just probably the best team in baseball at the moment. So can't fault them for that one.
And then he also got lit up by Baltimore a week before that. So, he's had a rough month, I would say. Because, I mean, over the last month, he's had about a 5.87 ERA. But on the year, it's actually incredible. He has, 55 innings, 6 Ws, 48 Ks, a 3.27 ERA with a 1.18 WHIP. Now, what that tells me is something good is on the horizon. I think he figured it out with that start against Atlanta. I'm not saying he's going to be like this phenomenal pitcher, but I am going to say he's going to be very serviceable. And his next start is against Pitt. So I'm going to say right there, that's just picking on the week and get him before somebody else does and uses him against you. And that start is on the 22nd, which is Wednesday. So scoop him up.
Yeah, my brother, I'm going to chime in here. And I'll be honest, Matt, you kind of turned me on to Keegan Thompson this year. I seen you had added him in a few leagues. So then, if you're adding him, I got to do my research on the guy, right?
Yeah.
So I'll say this, man. He actually has been pretty good the last 2 years, right? Now, he got 53 innings last year, only 55 innings this year. So I'm going to give you his numbers the last 2 years combined, right? So Keegan Thompson, last 2 years combined, it's 13 starts, 47 games overall. So, he's been a little bit in the bullpen. He's been a little bit as a starter, right? But he's 9-5 record, 3.32 ERA, 108 innings, 103 strikeouts, and a 1.32 WHIP. But that was mainly from the bad WHIP last year. This year's WHIP is a little bit better, as Matt said, a 1.18. So now he's almost a strikeout per inning guy. Very, very low ERA. And I think the WHIP is maybe the WHIP goes up a tiny little bit, but hey, man, he's out there winning games. As Matt said, he got a good start this week. He has a great track record in the minors, by the way. In 2018 was his big year in the minors. He had 129 innings, a 3.61 ERA across 25 starts, 115 strikeouts, and a 1.14 WHIP. So the kid's definitely shown upside in the minors before as well. Go out there and snag him. Once again, 27% owned on Yahoo, Keegan Thompson of the Chicago Cubs. I would definitely go out there and add him for his start against Pittsburgh this week. So who do we got next up over here, Matt? Let's see. Let's go with Michael Wacha, our last starting pitcher of the segment here. He's been pretty good lately. He almost threw a no-hitter. I think it was a couple starts ago, right? Let's pull that up here. No, actually, I was thinking of somebody else. I'm sorry. That was not Michael Wacha. But in his last start against the St. Louis Cardinals on June 17th, he went 5.1 innings, got the win, 5 strikeouts, a 1.69 ERA, and a 1.31 WHIP. On the season, Wacha has a 2.28 ERA, a 1.03 WHIP, 59 innings, 41 Ks. He's doing pretty good so far, and he gets Detroit in his next outing. Detroit's been kind of on a struggle bus this year, so I say he's probably the bottom of the totem pole, in my opinion. A little bit older, not as sturdy as we'd like, from some of these other guys. But hey, against Detroit this week, he's been good this year. I would throw him out there if I absolutely needed to. 54% owned on Yahoo as well for Michael Wacha.
Yeah, he's definitely worth an ad. His numbers on the year, like Dom read off, is great. 54% owned is even nicer. And did we say his next? You said his next starts against Detroit. Sorry,
Yes,
I'm reiterating.
No, you're good.
Everything.
You're good, brother.
It's just one of those things where I just think that there's definitely a value there. Boston's been hot recently. There's a chance of picking up the dub. So, definitely worth an ad for going into this week. And that I don't think he's going to be somebody going to be holding for too long because
fully agree.
He's a cockroach.
He legit, Matt. He legit might be. You start him this week against Detroit, and then if he has if he goes up against like the Yankees in the outing after that, drop him.
Yeah, he legit is the cockroach of fantasy baseball. All right, let's move on to some bats now.
Yeah, man. I think we buried the lead a little bit with going arms first. But I do want to point out one guy, if you don't mind, my brother.
Go for it.
Riley Green, number 1 prospect in all of baseball at the moment after everyone else has been called up, finally got the call, and he's a must add in every format at the moment. If you're listening to the podcast and you think he might be available in your league, you pause the podcast, you go add Riley Green, and then you come back and you keep listening to the MDs, right? So, so far, Riley Green is, he's had 5 at-bats, got 2 hits, 2 runs, only 2 games so far, right? But in the minors, he was doing pretty well. He was hitting 279. He had 8 RBI, 1 home run, 4 steals. And that was in 17 games, and he had 10 runs as well. So he was doing pretty good down there. Also, I know we don't really go too crazy with the stats, but he had a 347 OBP, so he was taking a couple walks there too. He raked the year before in the minors as well. He hit 301 in 2021 with 24 home runs, 16 steals, 84 RBIs, and 95 runs across 124 games. So, the kid's 21 years old, got the world in his hands right now, and I think you have to add him if he's available in your leagues. He's only 53% owned at the moment, and that number is absolutely flying up by the minute.
Yes, sir. Definitely somebody that's going to be very fun to watch this year. I'll tell you that much. I'm excited to see what kind of power he brings. Maybe he'll bring a little electricity to Detroit. Maybe
they need
other guys around him because just shoot, Baez is just horrendous. So
don't get me started on Javier Baez.
Yeah, long story short, drop him. Anyway, it'll be nice, get somebody else on there. But let's move on from him because I think you pretty much talked about him the whole thing without me having to be repetitive. And
fair enough.
We're going to talk about somebody that we said to drop a few weeks ago, and that is Nelson Cruz. He finally is picking it back up, Mr. DH, useless ND.
Real quick, man, I'm gonna have to. So not Nelson Cruz. I think you might have read that one a little wrong.
Neil Cruz.
Yeah, sorry. we're talking about another high end prospect that just got called up. The Pittsburgh Pirates number 1 prospect, actually, O'Neal Cruz.
Sorry, I am.
Fair enough.
I can't read today apparently.
Matt's got a case of the Father's Days. It's his first one. We got to give him a break here, guys.
God, Kenny Chesney, man, that's where I was last night. It says everything. But he's another big prospect. I like him. He has a nice slash line of 233, 337, 424 with 35 ribbies, 9 bombs, 11 stolen bases, and 17 attempts, which is phenomenal. Over 54 games in AAA. Now, he's on Pittsburgh, so, there's nothing too crazy about it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But you know what? They do have Key Brian Hayes, and they have what's his face over there.
Damn, I don't even know who you're talking about. I'm going to be on Brian Reynolds, maybe.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Brian Reynolds over there, who is definitely, could give them a little boost and give him a little bit of stats because now there'll be somebody behind him, and they have somebody in front of him. So, maybe he's going to bring some value to the Pittsburgh players. I mean, they're throwing out too much. It's the whole of baseball, but, hopefully he does something for that team.
Yeah, so I'll tell you this about O'Neal Cruz. I'm actually quite fond of the kid. He's 6'7". He's just gigantic, 6'7", 220. So he's a big dude. He's 23 years old, and I believe, once again, I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think he got a little banged up at some point earlier in the year, and that's why Pittsburgh didn't promote him earlier. And then when he came back from that injury, he was actually struggling down in the minors. That's why his batting average looks a little bit lower than you would think, right? But he's been hot lately, man. I can't give you his stats over like the past 2 weeks, but I know they've been outrageous, man. He's been hitting home runs, stealing bases like crazy down there in the minors. So, and I'll give you his 2021 stats, right? In 2021, O'Neal Cruz hit 310. He had 19 steals. He had 47 RBIs. He had 17 home runs. He had 62 runs, and that was in only 69 games. So that's almost a run a game. That's a lot of RBIs and 19 steals in 69 games for a guy who's 6'7" and has power too. I mean, this kid's got a lot of upside. I think in a couple of years we could be talking about O'Neal Cruz as like an all-star, top 2 round guy in fantasy, right? Now that's just my opinion. I know it's going to be tough playing on the Pittsburgh Pirates, but if they get things rolling, like Matt said, with Key Bryant and Brian Reynolds and the rest of those guys there, start, contributing like they should. And, he might really be one of those guys in a couple of years where everyone's like, damn, just one of the better players in the game of baseball, right? So you go out there and let's see, what is he owned on, right? What's his ownership percentage right now? 38% owned on Yahoo. So he's still out there in a lot of leagues, only shortstop eligible. He's going to be playing, I believe, Monday. So when you guys are hearing this, he should be getting a start, and just go out there and add O'Neal Cruz and Riley Green. Make sure they're owned in all your leagues because there's a lot of upside with these 2 young players, right? So now we got one more prospect that did get the call, and in my opinion, maybe Matt will disagree with me here, but in my opinion, I don't think he's as high end as these last 2. But Alex Kirilov, gets the call, comes back up to the majors, Yeah, all right. So all right, Matt's on the same page with me here. If you guys are watching on the YouTube, you kind of saw Matt make the little face about him. But we do have to talk about him here because he was absolutely killing it down in the minors. He was hitting 350. This again, Alex Kirilov, Minnesota Twins, was hitting 359 in the minors, 22 walks to 26 strikeouts. You'd love to see that plate discipline. He had 1 steal, not really a steals guy, 32 RBIs, 10 home runs, 33 runs in 35 games. So once again, almost a run per game, almost an RBI per game, which is way harder to do. And 10 bombs in 35 games, that's a lot of power there too, if you ask me. I know he's not really doing it in the majors so far, and I know he had a bad game the other day, his first game up, but you got to give him a little chance here, especially in deeper leagues. I believe he is eligible at first base and outfield, right? I was going to fact check myself on that one, but thank you, my brother. 26% owned on Yahoo. Go out there and snag him. If you really need him, I'd say he's below a lot of the guys we're talking about today, but he is a higher end prospect and he was raking down in the minors, Alex Kirilov. So he's worth a chance in I'd say shallower formats.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I actually had him ranked pretty high going into the season, but he's been an absolute, dumpster fire. And you know what? At this point, I'm just like, okay, yeah, he's probably gonna just have to go. He's looking like a colonic bust.
Oof. Yeah. You know what, man? These days, that Kalanick name is starting to, like, if you call somebody a Kalanick, it's like,
it's like calling somebody a Karen.
Yeah, right.
It's one of those things. But if he doesn't do it this time, he's done. He's done in my book. I think he's going to be one of those waste of high end prospects.
I could see that.
He's got to figure it out, because if not, bye.
It's tough. It made that transition from the minors to the majors, I think, is getting the toughest it's ever been. I would say a couple of years ago with Soto and Acuna and Tatis, everyone was just like, oh, the prospects. Now it's like, it's getting a little bit harder. Look at Joe Adell, look at Kelenic, look at some of these guys just coming up and really not doing what we expect them to do. So with Alex Kirilov here, you kind of gotta. I would just be very, very careful. He's not somebody I'm absolutely holding for a month and seeing what happens. No, it's like if he has a bad week, if I pick him up and he has like a bad next week, back on the waiver wire for me.
Yeah.
So
I wasn't done.
Oh, I'm sorry, bro. I'm so sorry, my brother. I apologize. Yeah,
Sometimes,
go ahead. That's my fault.
sometimes Dom just comes in hot and heavy, gets really emotional.
I
Passionate.
do, man. I don't know why. I get very passionate. It's always feel free, my brother. I apologize.
It's all good.
I
I'll just call you
apologize.
out. You're Captain Aggressive.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
But so I just want to give everybody my take, not just on him, but in terms of what you should do. So I even though I think he's done, he's still worth an ad. Like I'm going to add him. I think that the upside of what he's supposed to be and what he did in the minors is at least worth it to hold. I'm not saying start him, but I am saying scoop him up. And what's the worst that happens? You drop him in a week. That happens to me every week. I end up picking up a bust or somebody, and then you got to move on. So like he's worth it, and the upside is there. Let's roll with it and see what happens. You want to take that last? Oh no, we got two guys left.
Yeah, but there is one in particular I do have his numbers handy. So since we've been in the mode of talking young players, first year guys, let's talk about another one, and that's Alec Thomas. We told you to pick him up when he got called up, and he's actually been really good so far, to be honest, in my opinion. I know he's on that Arizona Diamondbacks team, but hey, man, he's got 21 runs, he's got 5 home runs, he's got 14 RBIs, 3 steals, and he's hitting 276. Those are pretty good numbers for the young Alec Thomas. And just bear with me as I count how many game hit streak he's on. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He's on an 11 game hit streak right now. So Alec Thomas is definitely somebody I'd be looking to add right now in almost all formats. He was a very high end prospect for the Diamondbacks. He might have been even their number 1 prospect this year, right? And he has an awesome track record in the minors. He's always hit 300. This year he didn't hit 300 in the minors. He hit 277, but hey, close enough. He's got that steals power combo. He's only 22 years old. I think this kid can wind up being maybe has all-star potential as well, as I said about O'Neal Cruz. I don't know if he's going to be as good as O'Neal Cruz, but he's definitely doing very, very well in the majors right now. Only 20% owned on Yahoo for Alec Thomas. Go pick this kid up. He should be 60% owned.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, he's definitely worth it. And I keep repeating myself over and over, and I keep beating this over the head with like a dead horse. Guys that give good batting average off the waivers that are consistently doing it is very good for your team. Okay, you don't have to start them every day, but when you do want to start somebody on an off day for another player, it is valuable for them not to kill your average. You could feel good about it, and when they have a good matchup, you could feel good about putting them in. So he's not going to be a dead space. He's probably going to be somebody you're going to carry through a couple of weeks. And if he keeps doing what he's doing and then starts showing off more of that power, I think he's going to have some good value as well. So I think he's definitely worth it. But yeah, that's all I got on him. But
Alec Thomas, guys, go out there and make sure you add him.
Absolutely. And let's talk about this last guy here, and that's AJ Pollock. I can't even keep track of where he's playing anymore. So it's the Chicago White Sox. He's not having a bad season, but he's just not having, a good season. But the last week was pretty good. So, I mean, it's without today's stats, right? Because he's playing right now as we speak on the podcast.
He's 0 for 1 today so far.
6-1-4 and batting .310 on the week. I'm going to take that. Over the month, I mean, he has 8-1-10 and batting .321 again. I keep saying good batting average. And trust me, this was not planned. Equals good support for when you want to sub somebody in. He's not going to go, oh my God, but you know what? It's AJ Pollock. He was an all-star, like 10 years ago?
A little less than 10, but right. Right. It's been a while.
He's older, but he definitely has, and he's on a very good young team. So if he gets somebody on base in front of him, he's going to be able to drive them home and possibly get you some counting stats. So I do like him as a pickup, especially for this week. And on top of that, let's just look. He's also playing Toronto this week. So they have like a up and down in terms of their pitching. So depending on who he gets, one of those games, it may be worth it over the next 3 days.
Yeah, as long as he don't get Manoah, I think he'll be all right.
Yeah, or Gosman.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, Gausman got lit up last time, but he still has been one of the better pitchers in baseball. So with AJ here, I mean, he's not having the best year, but I'll tell you this: he had a nice little 8-game hit streak from June 9th to June 5th, June 17th. He was hitting leadoff there. I don't know why they took him out of the leadoff spot, because the last 2 games he's hit fifth, and he's not looking so great in those 2 games. Maybe they throw him back in the leadoff spot. Looks like that's where he likes to hit. He was absolutely raking in there. He had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 multi-hit games in a row before they decided to take him out of the leadoff spot. So I think AJ Pollock, 32% owned on Yahoo, probably might be the lowest on the totem pole that we've absolutely talked about today. Bear with me here, folks. Sorry about that. I just wanted to see where we were going next here. So from the bats, once again, AJ Pollock, you can go pick him up, 32% owned on Yahoo. Chicago White Sox. So from that, we're going to move into, the closers here, wrap things up. So this one kind of stinks, somebody that Matt and I were both kind of high on, Corey Knebel. Looks like he's lost his job for the time being. So yeah, you need to kind of be a little speculative here, right? Now it's either Brad Hand or Sir Anthony Dominguez, right? I think
Not
they
a great
both have.
choice. They both have
I think they've both got a save since Knebel has lost his job. So I'm not
Knebel
really
got lit up today too.
Yeah, I did see that. He gave up a couple runs today too. So now if I absolutely had to pick one, I'm probably going Sir Anthony Dominguez. I mean, I know Brad Hand has the experience and he's got a lot of saves in his career, but the whip is kind of high this year. Brad Hand's got a 1.38 whip. The ERA is good with a 2.21 ERA, and he's got 2 saves on the year, 20 innings, 21 strikeouts. So you like that as well. But let's switch over to Sir Anthony Dominguez here. His numbers are looking a little bit better. He's got 26 innings, 34 Ks. He has got 4 wins on the year. He's got himself that save that we talked about from the other day, a 1.73 ERA and a 0.88 whip. So my preference here is, Sir Anthony Dominguez. That's 32% owned, but you never know what's going to happen. It might be a little bit of a committee here for a while until one of them, just grabs the role and runs with it. So I really can't speculate on what's going to happen here too much, but I will tell you my preference would be Sir Anthony Dominguez.
So I mean, I'm going to disagree with the guy that's sad out of the two.
Fair enough.
So Dominguez was supposed to be the second coming of somebody for the Phillies, because he was supposed to be somewhat serviceable, and he hasn't been. He's been on this team for the last 4 years and has either been hurt or has just sucked.
He's good this year though.
You mean like if you look at his total numbers, he's only had a few save opportunities so far this year.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. He's legit only got the 1 save. So
he's not in a high leverage. He's not in high leverage situations. He's been a middle relief pitcher, so like he crumbles under pressure. So I don't think that he's going to be able to maintain this job. Now on the other side of that, I don't believe that that Hand is even good either, because what he's looked like the last couple of years. So personally, I just think, hey, like if you're in my situation, we have Knebel, I'm adding Hand out of desperation, but I'm not touching Dominguez with a 10-foot pole unless somehow, God himself puts his hand on his shoulder and fixes all his problems.
Yeah, man. So that's a lot of haterade there on Mr. Sir Anthony Dominguez, and while you're out there in Philly too,
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, there's the big sip. There's the big sip. Was waiting for it.
That didn't even taste good.
So, guys, fair enough. Matt and I are out here disagreeing on that one. So you're gonna have to do the research yourself, or just which one of us you agree with. Take the nod there. So Sir Anthony Dominguez or Brad Hand. Hey, who knows, right? So the next one here might be a little bit more secure, but I don't know, again, because it's, another team that likes to mess with their closer situation. But and I'm not even sure how this guy's name is. I'm about to botch this. It's either Colin Poche or Colin Poche. I'm not sure how he pronounces it. We will find out and let you know next time.
It sounds fancy. Let's go with Poche.
Oh, yeah. So let's go with Poche. Colin Poche here. He's doing good so far in the year, and he does have 4 saves for the Tampa Bay Rays. He's got a 1.27 ERA, which is outrageous. 27 innings, 18 strikeouts. So he's not really a huge strikeout guy, but he's got a 0.844 whip. Man, this guy looks good. With Andrew Kittredge going down for the year with the Tommy Johns, and JP Fire Ison going, maybe he's been watching too much Game of Thrones or something, because, he's down too. So, looks like this guy is the next guy up, even though Tampa Bay could totally come out and throw throw some random guy that no one's ever heard of out there for a save next time out, because that's what they do. But right now, Colin Poche looks, pretty interesting to me. I'd go out there, and he might be out of everyone we talked about today, he might be my number one priority at closer.
Yeah, I mean, Poche, like some poached eggs, just killing it over there. Let's see what happens. He's going to be in a lot of high leverage situations to be able to get some saves. So I like
only 18% owned on Yahoo, by the way. Just wanted to throw that out there.
It's great, especially. I mean, I'd rather add him than either of the ones of the other two closers that we
fully agree. I absolutely 1,000% agree with that.
Yeah. So let's go on to the very last guy of this podcast, and that is Alexis Diaz.
Got it.
I gotta find his thing.
Oh wait. So actually, my bad. I did this list kind of early this morning, and looks like he's hit the IL.
Yep.
So actually, let's give me 2 seconds here, because there is one other guy on Cincinnati who does kind of get some of that work. Tony Santine went to the IL as well, so that's why I did want to throw out there, Alexis Diaz. But just bear with me a second here, because they had some other dude they threw out there that got the save last time out, and we'll go with him instead. Just bear with me. I'll be quicker to get it on my phone.
Yep.
Don't
make me start having to start singing, just so you know.
Matt, honestly, you might have to, but bear with me here, folks.
Me.
I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna do this.
I don't know, man. Do you need a roadmap, a little directions, a little user manual?
I do. Anyone who's hung around this long, forgive me, please. We're just trying to get you a little help here. I think he got the save yesterday, this kid. So let me pull up their game from yesterday, because I finally got to where I need to be.
Hey Dom, you go to the ESPN app and you look up the game.
Yeah, I know that's what I'm doing here, but it took me a minute too long.
I'm gonna say like a whole 7 minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I totally am missing who this guy was, but Cincinnati did have somebody who got the save like 2 or 3 days ago, and I can't find what game it was where this guy got the damn save.
It's all good, man. We'll hit them up on Thursday for
it. So guys, I'm just gonna throw this out there. Whoever got that last save for the Cincinnati Reds, go out there and pick that guy up, right? Because now Alexis Diaz is hurt, and Tony Santine is on the IL as well. So, whoever this guy is, if I could find it.
We're done. You're done. Okay.
All right, guys, that's it. Thank you for listening. As always, Fantasy MDs, we did try to do things a little different this week. We went on Sunday instead of Monday, so we actually do want to know what you guys think about that. If you're still here listening, let us know if you like that better, if it makes things a little easier in your lives. But we appreciate you guys listening as always. So until Wednesday.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.